What got you interested into the music business?
I mean, we've all done music for a long time. I've done music growing up. I've been singing, been in bands. Bill's got a composition degree. He's got a music theory degree. I know Ari's been playing bass since a long time.
Yeah, I just love rock and roll. That's what I want to do.
And Chad, I know our drummer, who's the only one not here, he's only ever wanted to play the drums. It's all he likes doing. It's all he wants to do. So yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of came naturally for us. In terms of the music business, I think, you know, we've always tried to approach stuff in a serious-minded way to try and make it, you know, more than a hobby, try and make a living at it.
Yeah. So you guys kind of have a mix of going to school for it and also combined with the experience. Do you guys think that you have to go to school, or do you think it helped you out going to school, or?
To each his own.
Yeah, exactly.
To each his own.
It depends. Some folks. Also, I'd say the school is really good for, or in some ways, for learning tools. You know, whether it's being a better instrumental performer, learning more about music theory, or, you know, composition or whatever. It's great to have more tools to your toolbox, but nobody there is going to tell you, or can really tell you, how to, you know, build what you want to build or play what you want to play. And also, I'd say going to school for music business is also really tricky because it's so hard for curriculums to keep up with the incredibly fast-changing pace of the business itself.
Yeah. And speaking of fast-changing pace, I saw that you guys have a free download of your album online, and I just did that. And is there like a tactic for that? Like, why do you do that?
I think it's important to give, you know, in the sort of internet era, people can listen to your music whether you like it or not. You know, they can listen on, they could download it on a torrent, they could listen on YouTube. You know, it's gonna happen.
It's all there already.
It's all there already. So I feel like if you're gonna go and say, make someone feel bad, like they're stealing the first time they hear your music, that's gonna give a bad feeling, and that's not the way to start a good, like, connection, relationship, right? I mean, what's a fan-artist thing if it's not a relationship? And so I'd rather say, you know, we know that, you know, you could get this, so we are going to say, please have it as a gift from us, you know, and at least try and say hey and start off on the right foot.
Yeah.
You know, we're giving you something, and hopefully if you want to then come see a show or buy a t-shirt or whatever, you know, hopefully like our music. And that's ultimately, I think, a lot more important in the long term, is building good relationships.
And there are a number of people who download the album and then they come and they buy the CD.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
People who still want the physical product. And,
yeah,
you know,
I'm doing that today. So.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Mission accomplished.
Yes,
nice.
For sure. Yeah, I think, you know, it's important to establish a good relationship, and like you said, people are going to find it anyway. True. And if you put it out there, then it just expands the amount of people that, you know, you touch. And I think you guys really do social media very well.
Thank you.
Like, I was on the YouTube site yesterday. You guys have a lot of stuff on there. You guys really, you know, take advantage of that, and that's something that people don't really take advantage of as often as they should. So I think that's good.
There's just so much to do. There's so
much.
It's hard because, you know, we don't even keep up as much as we feel like we should.
Yeah.
But we do our best to try and keep it up. Like, for instance, out here on Warped, it's been really, really hard just because the schedule is so tough, and we do everything we can to try and kind of keep everyone in the loop and keep up with Facebook and Twitter and you know, our street team and the advance guard. But it's hard.
Some days,
some days you can't.
You can't do it. Yeah.
It's very busy. What are some steps to become successful in a local music scene?
That's a good question, man. The Chicago scene is funny because we're not a very good scene band. We're not very good at fitting in, I guess. So I don't know that we're the right ones to answer that. I think music scenes are awesome when they pop up. They can generate a lot of really cool stuff, but I've always been a bit mystified by them in terms of how they form and how you become part of one. Yeah. I feel like I've never been a part of any club.
I love inside jokes. I'd love to be a part of one someday.
Yes. Sort of how I've sort of felt about scenes is, for the most part, they're something that I look at and say, wow, people are in that.
What was it like when you first started making music and putting yourself out there? How did you get your name and music to spread around? We kind of already touched on this.
Sure. You just, eventually you go around punching people, and you punch enough people, and they say, who's that guy punching everyone? He must make music.
That's how you make a name for yourself.
That's the way we did it, and that's the way that's how the way the Beatles did it. How do you think they got their name?
They were kicking,
They beat the shit out of people. That was the thing.
Well done. Yes. I mean,
It's true. You're about to say it's true, but you couldn't even say that. It's not true. What was the question?
how did we?
Yeah, how did you get out there, and how did you put your name out there?
Yeah, I mean, for us, again, like Bill said, to each their own. But I feel like everyone's got to play to their own strengths. And for us, as kind of nerdy folks, one of our strengths is organization and planning. And so I felt like we've always tried to present what we do as part of a larger, like treat the whole band as the art. And kind of present what we do in a larger picture. That's sort of what we did at our first shows in Chicago. You know, try and make it a part of a whole visual aesthetic and a larger story. And that was fun. We were definitely a lot more prepared than any other band that I knew at the time. And so, you know, we had T-shirts at our first gig, which is like funny, and we didn't make any money on them. We printed so few T-shirts that we had to sell them just to make our money back. But you know, we wanted to be prepared. You know, so I feel like that for us, that was our biggest weapon, is trying to make sure we were presenting something that people would see and say like, wow, that they spent a lot of time on that. You know, like that is a cool. It make more of an impression than just like that's another band.
It's a big risk to take, you know, to invest all that in something that barely even exists yet. But you know, if you stay behind it and keep pushing it and you know, stay focused on that, right, it's worth it.
Were you guys a part of any other bands before that you could take the knowledge from for this band?
Yeah, I mean, all around, I would say I was part of a couple bands in Chicago. One of them was just my own solo project, which for a couple of years there, actually Packy and Hari played with me in my band. That was my solo band. That's how I got to know these guys.
I was in bands a lot of different styles, so that really helped me kind of expand.
I did a lot of gigging around Chicago and stuff, and tons of different bands and stuff, and it got me ready just for all the different situations that you can get in from you know, just playing in different places and different contexts with different people and stuff like that.
Yeah, because it seems like a lot of times when somebody does like a side project or they have bands that they've done before, it's all the same kind of stuff. And you guys are like really different and in a great way, you know, and it really helps you stick out. And so what kind of music did you do before?
I was in a heavy metal band. I was in a folk rock band.
Yeah, well, you're counting my band as a folk rock band.
I mean,
Nice, all right.
That was a totally different style I had never really dabbled in, so all of this really helped me out creatively.
Yeah, my other bands that I did in Chicago, one was like way heavier than anything I had ever done, but I was the singer and I was like trying to make some music with these guys, and that was funny. But then yeah, my solo stuff was kind of folk rocky. Packy's been in every band.
I've done all kinds of stuff.
Packy plays at temples sometimes.
Yeah, I play in synagogues. I'm not even Jewish. I play funk bands and jam bands and old school classic rock bands and on whatever instruments, and just I like getting around.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know.
That's cool.
It's fun.
Out of all the accomplishments you've made as a band, what are you most proud of?
That's a good one.
I would say about a year ago we were on stage and we created a small black hole during one of the songs, and there's no record of it obviously because
it collapsed in on itself relatively quickly.
Right, but
technically it may not have happened.
Right, but
because of the time-space rip. But
I was pretty excited by
at
that.
the time it was exciting. Other than that, I would say our album. I mean, that was we just released our first full length a few months ago, and the making of that album and the kind of doing it the way we wanted to and fighting to get it exactly the way we wanted was a huge, you know, year and a half long process, and I'd say actually the way it came out, we couldn't be happier, and that's it in itself like my biggest pride that we were able to do that. And the wormhole, the black hole.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, well, it was a little one at the time.
Oh, but it's a big deal.
It was a little one, but it was a massive one.
Yes, that's the thing.
That's how they
really
work.
massive.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for people who are trying to get successful in the music business?
Start rich,
Don't give up.
and die trying. Wait, is that?
Yeah.
Start rich.
Start rich.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Die trying. On a serious note, I would say that the biggest advice that I'd give to anyone that asks is put yourself out there. You know, whatever you obviously have something in your head that you want to do, go out there and do it. see what's working and what's not.
Yeah, don't be afraid to change what's not working.
So after you put yourself out there, go back and change the
even
things
if
that aren't
you've dumped
working.
so much into something,
Doesn't
once you
matter.
realize that it's not working, forget it. Get rid of it.
Don't think about those
And
like,
just do the thing, do the better thing.
yeah, put yourself out there, then take a step back after you do that. Stick with what's working, ditch the stuff that's not, improve yourself and what's working, put yourself out there again, and just keep going.
So do you think you kind of have to be objective about your own stuff? Like, you put your heart and soul into it, but at the same time, you have to kind of...
Well, look, you can put your heart and soul into it, and that is awesome. But if you want to try and make a living or a career, if you want to turn your art into your job, which is a funny thing anyway, but that's what we're all trying to do, right? Then you have to be, I mean, at least to some degree, objective. You know, I love art for art's sake, but you know, if you really want to have no care for what's like working and what's not, and you know, with the crowd or with the, you know, fans, whatever, if you really don't care at all, that's fine. But then you can't in good conscience say you deserve to, you know, make money at it or make a living, and that's fine too.
Or be upset if you're not.
Or be upset if you're not.
Yeah.
That's totally fine, but you just have to realize that that's what that is. That's one thing, and in trying to sort of make a career in the business is another.
Yeah. What is your favorite tour experience?
There's been a lot, man.
Black hole again. I'll just
so
say.
many.
So the singularity collapsing in on itself and not actually happening. That was awesome.
That was cool. That tour was 47 cities and I think like 2 or 3 different dimensions.
Yeah.
It was really wild.
3-dimension tour. Extra dimensional tour.
Yeah.
Also, we got to play at the Magnus Arena in Denver once for Not So Silent Night a couple years ago. KTCL, the alternative radio station out there, is awesome, and they had us out, and that was probably
huge.
that was the biggest show we've ever played in terms of just number of people.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. We got to play with AFI and Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, Say Anything. That was a really cool bill.
Speaking of numbers, do you prefer like a small venue or like a huge venue or medium size?
I prefer a full venue.
Yeah, exactly. Like we've had great times at tiny venues with crowds that are just into it.
Yeah, we've had great times at tiny venues with even tinier crowds.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's just whatever energy in the room fits, I'm into it.
Yeah, one time we played just an Eagles Lodge in
That's what
Wichita,
I was
Kansas,
thinking of. Yep.
and we'd never played there before, but it was between here and there, and it was a little tour. We were just doing it ourselves, and you know, 50 kids came out from nowhere. We had no clue where they were from. We had never played there, and they, you know, it was just a tiny room and a tiny crowd. But I tell you, we had a fucking awesome night.
It was sweaty and it was tough and it was punk rock and it
Tough with
it
2
was
Fs.
so right. It's TUFF. Yeah.
Out of all the songs in the world, which do you wish you wrote?
This is a tough question.
Unchained Melody.
Sure, that's a good one. No, you're just
Pop at the top of my head.
okay. This is a funny question whenever people have said this, because it's like I'm so happy when people write a song I love that it's hard. I know a lot of songwriters get the, you know, I wish I had written that, but I've never had it. It just brings such joy when I hear like one of my favorite songs. I mean, in terms of like favorite ever, Joni Mitchell, Both Sides Now, to me is like one of the primo like best songs ever. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say this. And also, my favorite songs are really across the map, genre-wise. I'm like, yes, you know, singer-songwriter folk song.
Sure.
That's my Nintendo Rock Band favorite song.
Perfect. I have a different one every day, or every week at least, it seems.
One of those Zeus songs, maybe.
One of those Zeus songs, probably. The one this week, okay, I'll just say it this week, it'll be Are You Gonna Waste My Time by Zeus. I wish I wrote and recorded that. It's the best thing ever. I listen to it maybe 3 to 6 times a day. I can't get enough.
You know, you really like a song when you listen to it 3 to 6 times a day.
Yeah.
How do you describe your music? It's a pretty hard
7.
7, okay.
If Weezer had sex with a Nintendo.
I agree with that.
And was arrested and subsequently charged
With
with crimes against Nintendo T.
Nintendo T?
I couldn't think of a word.
The realm of Nintendo?
No, the entire realm of Nintendo T. Nintendo.
I think Bill got it though.
Yeah, sure.
Well, thank you.
Weezer hate fucking hate. Wait, no, hold on. Making love to
Making sweet love to
a Nintendo.
An 8-bit gaming device.
Thank you guys for having this opportunity, for joining me. I hope to see you guys around, and you guys do a great job. You guys are great musicians and everything, so keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.